Hey, everybody. It's that time of the week again. It's Thursday night right here with the Rabbit Hole with yours truly, Blazeman, Mr. D, and Mr. Donald. That's right. We are the Rabbit Hole Thursday night. The date today is 10/6/2022. Of course, my colleagues, Mr. D and Mr. Donald, and our special guest this Thursday. Used to be part of the Rabbit Hole and ex-host, and now special guest host to the Rabbit Hole. Yours truly, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Crispy Flacco, baby. What's up, buddy? What's going
What's
on?
what's up, Taco? Don't
Yeah,
call you Taco. Chris Taco. What's up?
smoke
What's
'em if you
up?
got 'em.
Uh,
Smoked him if you got him.
Done.
oh, here
Done.
we
I think
go.
that,
Here
I
we
think
go.
that was already done. That was already
Hmm.
done now.
Here we
So
go.
that
All
everybody's
righty.
everybody's in right shape and all of that fun shit like that. So today, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, the boys and I invited Crispy Flacco back to the show, and of course, when I approached him, the first thing that comes out of his mouth says, "I'm not going to not try to swear. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. So if you're going to have me on your show, you're going to have me on your show." So I knew exactly, I knew exactly what he meant by that. I'm like, yeah, of course we want you back on the fucking show, man. So let's do it. And he's here, and so we asked Chris. I asked Chris. I said, so what do you want to do for a topic or whatever? And of course, being October and things like that, one of Chris's best holidays, right? Is that fair to say? Halloween's one of your best holidays,
I've been setting up for Halloween since September.
right? So yeah. So I asked Chris. I said, "Hey, bud," I said, what do you want to go with? What topic do you want to go with, or whatever?" And he's like, "Oh, Salem witch hunts." So yeah, that's what we're going to start off the rabbit hole with tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Is we're going to talk about a little bit of the Salem witch hunts, which from my research, the Salem witch hunts trials began during the spring of 1692. A group of young girls in Salem claimed to be possessed by the devil. Yeah. And the first girl to get taken down, the first convicted witch, Bridget Bishop was her name. They hanged her. You know what I mean? And just think of like how barbaric it was back then, right? Wouldn't you say? It's like you couldn't in Salem and those areas like that, right? Check it out. You couldn't really like invent something because if the dumb idiots or whatever, because I'm sure not all of them were all fucking geniuses with the priest and shit like that. So if you came up with like an idea or an invention or whatever, it was like, and they didn't understand it. It's like you was a witch. You know what I mean? It's like, like, what do you mean you could boil water and we can wash up with it? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So I'll give it to you, Chris, and you can go ahead with it, brother.
All righty. So, y'all gotta forgive me. I thought this was gonna be later in the month. I actually just woke up, so I'm a little bit foggy. Be a little bit foggier later, but anyway. Um,
Mhm.
so pretty much, with the Salem witch trials, it was really a witch hunt. In my opinion, it was another way for people to steal people's money, get their properties. Like Blaze was saying, with the first lady that was killed, and then the eldest one that was killed was a gentleman called Giles Corey. He was 81. Now, the way that they did it, and his speculation, besides what they kind of write down, if you go in and read stuff, was he was a farmer that they wanted his property. And he didn't want to give up the property, so they charged him as a witch. And this stubborn, who would have guessed an 81-year-old dude was the stubborn old bastard? It's crying shame. This dude, they invented a special punishment for him. It was called, I have no fucking idea how to pronounce that because it's French. Penny for Edor. Anyway, what it was is they put a little tiny rock on the back of his spine. And then they put a big piece of wood on top of his chest, laying down. And then they kept piling stones on it and on it and on it until eventually that little rock snapped his back and he died, which actually took several days to do. But the reason why I wanted to talk about the Salem witch trials is because.
Wait a minute, can I jump in real quick?
Yep.
Okay, so basically what you're saying, right? At some point during the whole Salem witch trial bullshit and stuff like that, if they wanted your property, all right, so they'd have like spies lingering around you or having people watch you, to see if you do anything that they can charge you for being a witch. Thus, if they convict you, they lose everything because they're going to hang them, burn them, or do whatever. And thus the property, land, and whatever money they have, I don't know if they had banks back then or whatever, would go to the county, the town, the city, right?
Well, it would go to the queen. Because remember, it's 1692, around there before
It would go to
America
the king.
was
Okay.
founded.
All right.
So it would go to the king, queen, whoever was in charge of it then, which I would assume was King, what's his name? He's the same one that put out the bounties on the Indian head, which started the scalping. But anyway, here nor there. Yeah, the money would go back, like all the property and everything would go back to the state. To us, it would be the state. To them, I guess it would be castle or whatever the hell they had. But in the process of doing all that, they didn't have spies either. They used people's fear. They used like people's children. They used family members. In some cases, there's one girl whose husband died. They wound up other women in the town were jealous because now she had the property. So other women started accusing her of being a witch because she's a female with property.
Right.
So the whole scam was they were scamming. They were trying to get people that be a witch or whatever, so people could steal what they had, their properties, all of that shit like that. Yeah. And these people were literally convicted and murdered, hung again, and burnt to a crisp. D, you got anything you want to weigh in on this there, since you just researched the shit out of it?
No, I am a research. I don't need the internet.
That's right.
I've been on this life 56 years old.
That's right.
Whatever happened to the days when somebody knew something just by experience? Now, anybody and everybody goes to the internet, do a little research, and we're pros. No, man, it don't work like that. Look at the 1600s. The 1600s, man. That's what Chris is talking about, the Salem witch trial. And my only pull to this, Chris, is God was big back in them days, man. And it was the Puritans, man. And you said the king and the queen, the monies went to, and that was in England, right?
Yes, but we did have it went to them, but you got to remember our sheriffs and everything was still under the hand of the queen.
Yes,
so
sir.
It would go.
Yeah,
to,
the sheriffs were. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It would be considered the queen's I'm gonna go with the queen because that's how I've always grown.
Yeah,
up.
that's fine.
Yes,
that's
sir.
fine.
It's the queen. By the way, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
I hope your son doesn't fuck up. And good job, queen, with only giving him 10 years to rule until the grandson has to take over. Good job on that. Um,
Okay.
but I'm just gonna go with the queen. So it would be considered the queen's estate, but it was ran by the local sheriff. It was like taken over by the local government and stuff because we did even they had their own government back then
Yes.
before we took over in 1776.
So Chris, I have a question for you, sir. They would so a sign of them not selling their property to the county or the sheriff, whatever. That was a sign of them being a witch.
Well, you'll be surprised what they considered being a witch. Somebody had to do back then was state that you had like a fire at night and you were dancing around the fire. That made you a witch. You
Wow.
know, in the
D
meantime, you
D
probably
D
stepped on something and
D.
started
If you
stumbling.
D, if you created the striked match and fucking walked out into the town area and was testing your invention and struck that match, you'd be dead. They would have hung you. You're fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's crazy, man. No,
You
that's
know,
crazy.
that's exactly how it was. And
And
we're trying to make it like I don't know how we're trying to make it, but I think I made it as plain as simple. Donnie, tell me if I'm crazy, but it's like a fucking scam. You know what I mean? These be Chris, if we were in that era right now and you had a fucking nice property, your wife was banging or doing whatever. You know what I mean? I'd get with the boys and say, let's fucking find out a way to come up with rich Crispy is a witch, and we'll get his house, his property, and all that shit like that, right? It's pretty much what it is. If the queen or some kind of knight or whatever said, hey, I like this part of the land or whatever, but it belongs to this person. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, let's find a way how they don't believe in God somehow. We'll deem them a witch and we'll own the lands. Donnie?
Yeah, they did a lot of that. I just don't understand why we act so surprised about this happening long ago. We've just redefined, fine-tuned the process. We do the same stuff now with your cancer culture because you don't agree with my opinion. You talked about Chris talked about using fear and intimidation to maneuver or control people or sway people. We call those terrorist activities now. So you're shocked that no, they still had the same things back then. We've just fine tuned it and got better at it.
Right. We're not dragging people
Yes.
into the town square hanging them.
Right, right. But this is another example of how we really don't, as a nation, we don't learn from our past. Because the exact same things Chris was talking about is the females, because you're a female with land. Okay, well, now we're going to deem up something because that's just, discrimination on a gender basis, right?
hey,
That's
Johnny,
just discrimination right there.
Yeah, but back then you
but-
had these. Go ahead.
But no, I'm just saying,
no,
it's
let
called
me.
discrimination now. What
No.
Oh
goes
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's no, and if they want you, no, and it's funny. I didn't know shit about this witch trials when it was mentioned to me. I said, "Fuck, let me look it up a little." I'm kind of stupid, but I just want to add to Donnie what he's saying that's being done now, and he's right. And with the land, it's called public domain.
eminent domain? Yeah,
Eminent domain. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
yes, yes, and they do it the same way.
They just made it legal.
Well,
Yes.
So
if you
that's
look
what I'm
at it,
saying. It's a prime case to see how the corruption was in our society before we were even a nation. The corruption was already here, and we act shocked and we act surprised when it happens over and over again. But it's like, no, this we grew up on it. It's been part of our political system, our justice system, our society since it's incorporated with our society. So it's never going to go away. Stop acting so surprised.
well, we just did the same thing. The whole thing just, in my opinion, going into the rabbit hole. It just all repeated itself. Because
Right.
in the state of New York, if you die without the last will and testament, um, There's a better way to say that thing, but your will. If you die without signing a will and saying where exactly all your stuff is supposed to go, the New York government steps in and all the money goes to them. You, as a
Yeah.
son, have to go to court and try to get your father's inheritance back. You have to go to court to try to go get your mother's property back. And the way that it works is the way that it just repeated itself was through COVID. The government had people so freaking scared with COVID that, in New York, how many people were like, oh, she has COVID. So next thing you know, now all these elderly people, instead of going to the USS Mercy, the medical battleship, Kumo was putting them all in nursing homes. And that was clearly, people want to forget about Kumo in New York right now. He's supposed to be trying to run again this year.
Okay,
Um,
but he put senior folks as senior folks. Some accused him of trying to manipulate population control and trying to kill. You did that on purpose because you wanted to get more people sick and you were trying to control population. There's some speculation to that. I
yeah,
get that. I
as
mean,
somebody who lives in New York and watching it all go down, watching him do the exact shit that he was accusing Trump of.
right, exactly.
Uh,
That's most of the Democrats.
yeah, he was accusing Trump of the same thing, but he was actually doing it. He went to a woman's thing and bashed Trump. Next thing you know, everybody's coming out saying that he sexually harassed them and stuff. I can't find my keyboard to reply to that, but so the connection was, I know we're running out of time on the segment, but the connection was is, um, even before going back, like 200 years, 300 years, the corruption of the government and people pretty much having people killed to take their properties and their estates is still going on today because where Kumo, he was complaining and complaining that we had no money. Now all of a sudden we have money for infrastructure, we have money for fucking football stadiums and all this. We didn't get that money from the government.
But you know something, Chris. I'm glad you brought this subject up, man, because I was definitely ignorant, totally on the Salem witch trials. I envisioned the Salem witch trials as a big pot of water, a lady or a man in a black outfit with a black hat, making a witch's brew. No, and what you just said, man, it's kind of hard to think that way. That happened in them days, but what Donnie said, it's happening today, and you guys are 100% right. 100% right.
It's one of those things. History repeats itself, and if you look closely, you can just see it happening. You know, I'm stubborn as shit, so I still haven't even got a COVID shot. You know, I just got the flu. Because my kids went back to school. Everybody's like, "Did you take a COVID test?" I was like, "I went my ass with something. I don't know what it was though."
No, but that this witch trial shit, man. I mean, being grown up there in Massachusetts, I always thought it was a bunch of witches, man, starting a lot of bitching. But
Mm,
no, it's just wow.
mm, it was just
What else?
it's a way to get the money. That's pretty much it. Uh,
Hey, you guys hear me now?
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, we
man.
got you.
All right, I got loaded. Sorry. No, you're talking about way to get money. They do the same thing now. They just gotten better at it by either tax rates because they put some places extremely the taxes so high that it forces people out of their homes. I.e., your downtown areas, they kind of downtown Austin. Then property values have risen so much over the last 5 years. You got a 1,300 square foot, some of them homes down there that were there from like 50 years ago, and things are selling for millions. And the property values are probably, the taxes on them are probably $250,000 to $500,000 a year. People
Well, I
can
know.
afford that. So what do? They put a tax lien on your house. So guess what? If you try to sell it for that 1.5 mil, they're still getting their half meal. So that's another way. They just got better with the process, made it legal.
Okay,
New
so
York
we
just-
so we jumped right from the 1600s to now.
No, no, no.
No.
We're just comparing what's happening now to what Chris brought up.
comparisons.
Yes.
Okay, and I apologize, folks. I had to step out for a second. And ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that watch the Rabbit Hole all the time and probably are not familiar with Chris B. Chris B. used to be a part of the Rabbit Hole show. He was a host for many, many months here with us. But Chris just, he had a lot of stuff coming up at the time. His gaming world, Faco's world, is doing very well. So if you're into gaming and all of that shit like that, man, get right over and check out Faco's World on Facebook. You know what I mean? And check out, some of the games he plays and does all of that shit. So we want to congratulate Chris on his newborn baby daughter. So if everybody's hearing a little bit of a baby in the background, that's that cutie pie. So I want look, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot that goes into more of this. I mean, we here in Massachusetts kind of have not a history with Salem. I don't think the Lizzie Borden had anything to do with Salem, to be honest.
Lizzie Borden wasn't Salem; it was Fall River.
Right, it was Fall River, Massachusetts. But I'm saying Lizzie Borden, don't really have anything to do with Salem. But Salem is known for their ghosts now. October, Salem is the place to go, to just the nostalgic of it all. And like I said a few times earlier, I mean, at this point, they were getting to the point where they were setting people up. They were lying about people just to get their property, their inheritance, their money, all that stuff like that. And then Donald had come in with a piece saying that it's basically led right up to the situation kind of so that we're in now. It's like now they're not taking you out to the town square and hanging you and burning you. Now what they're doing is called canceled culture. You know what I mean? If you, if you're a celebrity or anything up to that par, which we don't ever have to worry about that, fellas. And we're up to that situation and somebody wants to cancel the show out or cancel us out or whatever, they would go ahead with their propaganda type of shit. So it's kind of crazy in how from the 1600s and how it's still basically there, but the way you go about it now, nobody's dying. But
Yeah, I gotta disagree.
Nobody's not
Instead
dying.
of
Nobody's
hanging,
not dying. But
they're
well, I'm
injecting you
saying
with
not hanging.
bio-welfare.
Right, they're not
Bio-warfare.
hanging. Right, they're not hanging you and they're not burning you, but they're basically leaving you homeless, throwing you in the street with absolutely nothing, type of shit like that. D, anything?
No, but I definitely I see the connection of what Chris.
D, we kind of lost your microphone. It's like feeding in the background type of deal.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
There
bro.
you are. There you are.
I'm
there you
sorry.
Are. Hey, how you
bad.
doing? Jerry says hello, guys. Congratulations to you, Chris, from Jerry on the baby.
Thank you.
And the next comment from Jerry is the triangle. Don't know what that means, but Jerry, thanks for jumping in. And if any one of us can figure out what you mean by the triangle, then I don't know. Maybe we'll talk.
It was probably the three pictures up at one time on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right then.
Yeah. Okay. But Demas, you were going to say something.
And again, I'm thinking the Salem witch trials was a bunch of witches, but all it was a bunch of fucking people stealing other people's property.
Right.
With
Thanks,
some
fella.
with some authority, though.
Yeah, but sick bastards. But being sick behind all of that,
Yes, man.
But
yes.
I just once again though, to me it's insane that legalize some of those processes via taxes and inheritance taxes and all this other stuff. So the government's still taking their cut of the money, and we're over here, and now it's legal though. So There's where I just don't understand. We keep repeating ourselves, and where do we think it's going to end up? Because we just can't keep going down the same thing. And definition of insanity, doing the
Well,
same
look
thing
at our
over and over
government.
again, expecting a different result. Right? That's insanity. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's where our government's at right now.
You
It's the
just
same
had
repeating mistakes, and we just don't seem to learn from them. Like, i.e., all these plans that we were talking about getting into, some other stuff later. You want to give out all this money. If you didn't learn from COVID that giving out money is part of the problem that's going to increase our deficit by probably $10 trillion over the next 20 years or some crap like that. That's all that did. Now we want to talk about we're giving out more money and doing this and doing that. I mean, what the hell?
Don't take it, people. Don't fucking take it. If you have a job, do not take that fucking money. Don't fucking take it. Don't fucking take it, man. Don't fucking take it. Don't
Why,
take the
Chris?
fucking money.
Why,
Oh
Chris?
my, because they'll fucking rape you with no Vaseline when it comes to taxes. Trust us.
Well, we
They
get
fucking screwed us over. They let out of all the money. We got 3 fucking children. We had it, Jesse Jane at the time. We were supposed to get all this fucking
That's crippled.
child taxes and shit, bonus, everything. Because, that's what got the dude that's a racist fuck from 50 years ago that's been in office to be our president and shit. Fucking, we were supposed to get all this. We didn't get shit. All we got was a fucking deficit. They let my wife walk away with $1,000 out of her fucking taxes. And I mean,
That's insane.
Walk away with like fucking
That's insane.
15,000, like 20,000 in taxes. My
Yeah.
wife works her fucking ass off.
Yeah.
yes.
And we got shit. Don't
I had
fucking
somebody-
take that money.
I had somebody who, that I know very well here in Massachusetts that, 2 children, all of that stuff like that. She got fucking like $16,000 back in taxes. You know what I mean? And anyways, but that's for another segment. But with that being said, listen, everybody, stick around for more of the rabbit hole right here on FFN Radio Network, Blaze Man Media. We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, with exactly 4 minutes, and we will be discussing racism. We will be discussing sanctuary cities and all of that fun shit. Be right back, folks. 4 minutes. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the rabbit hole. That's right. It's Thursday night, 10/6/2022. Hey, look, I got to say, it's my birthday tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow is
Happy
my
birthday.
fucking birthday, guys.
Happy birthday.
Happy
What do
birthday.
you
I'm,
want us? Do you want to
I'm,
sing? You want us to sing Happy Birthday
No,
now or
no.
I
tomorrow?
would
No,
appreciate that because,
no,
we don't
no.
have a show tomorrow, and I would appreciate the happy birthday right now.
If
Happy
I just
fuck
said it.
face to
We said it.
you.
We said it.
Happy fuck face to you. You look like an ass crack and you smell like one too.
That's it.
I got
Nobody
smart.
joined in on that.
Birthday to you.
Thank you, Donnie D. With emotion.
Happy birthday.
Oh God.
Oh my God, is he gonna start stripping?
Hey, I said with emotion.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Clarence. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, brother.
You're
Thank you.
Hey, I just
Thank you.
I just want to hit this witch trials one more time. Thanks, Chris, for bringing that up. I got smart. Religion plays a big part of my life and my decisions. It's a moral compass for me, and I was just focused. I thought these people were real witches, and that's what the authorities did them days to tag these people as witches, so the community can gang up on them and they get their property. Got it.
If you
Got it.
want to know who a real witch is, a modern day witch, look at the
It's a wicked.
pharmaceutical company.
Listen, D. It's okay to, um, you know, settle with the Lord. It's fine. It's if that's what gives you peace.
No, it's
No,
I'm,
that's fantastic. But
and
listen,
I,
every time you learn something about your religion,
mm,
Christianity, I
it was
mean,
brutal. It was
they
brutal.
killed more people than
Yes,
than
sir.
Hitler did.
Yes, sir. Just like Allah's doing right now in Iraq, Iran, and Saudi Arabia.
Right. All in
Yeah.
the name of
Hey, that's equal. That's
God.
equal. That's kind of equal. Because not for nothing, they're pushing Christianity to fight the Muslims. All that shit.
Yeah,
No,
you don't
Kind of
like that.
equal.
Let me tell you
Honestly,
something.
let me ask you two, as gentlemen that's seen the battlefield, do you really pray to God that the other side loses?
no.
No.
All right, good. Now, I have
Nobody-
even more respect for both of you.
No.
Nobody won. It's not win or lose. I'm sorry. That's the way I feel anymore.
I
got a
hate
lot.
when civilians go, "Oh, I pray," but you're praying for the other ones to die. If one side wins, only way we're winning is by a casualty of numbers. So you're
Correct.
praying that the other one side dies. It's like praying for find money. The only way you find the money on the street is if somebody else already lost it.
With
Right.
that being said,
Let's go to the next block because before we lose Donnie and
Oh, he wanted
we-
nothing of that. He was like,
No.
wrap it up.
What
Which
another
one?
what? Wait. No, what
Yeah,
no,
another
you
what?
you had the hand rolling up saying, "Let's go, let's go."
You were
let's
going
go.
like this.
and
As
that
soon as
just
the
pushed me
religion
up just a
started,
Oh,
little
you're
that
like,
bit
come
more.
on.
yeah, because
Philip,
he didn't want to talk about. He thought we were going to run right into religion. No, that's
Yeah.
cool.
No. Whatever.
Yeah, that's one of the topics that people don't like to talk about.
I could
Yeah.
talk. whatever you
We
wanna
talk about it. We do. But listen,
So what is it? No. What? The only thing I said, keep rolling, because
That
you guys
the
were all trying to make
conversation.
love to each other about a birthday. I was like, no, okay, good, man. Happy birthday, bro.
Oh, I
Let's
thought
keep
that
going.
was afterwards. It looked like it was afterwards. It must be a time delay
Anyway.
in the.
Hey,
Yeah, there's a
Chris.
time delay in the video.
Chris and Blaze, I want to go to this next segment, and I want Donnie to open it up. Donnie does a lot of golfing for his therapy and stuff, mental wise, and Donnie came up to an interesting individual that he what did you do? Shoot 9, 18?
So we shot 18 Wednesday.
Yeah, and the
guy
floor is
from
yours, my
Venezuela.
friend.
Nice.
So we keep talking about reparations and socialism and
There you
government
go,
give me,
Donnie.
government give me. But if we really want to do this, we need to look at the whole concept of what actually happened during all these so-called they're heinous crimes, but what really happened and who all was involved. Blaze, play the one video from the professor there that we
Awesome.
yes, sir.
right?
Coming up. All right,
Awesome,
baby. Here
Donnie.
we go, boys.
Chris, I
and
missed
gals.
mass.
Well, this is coming when, there's all of this wealth and you hear about it comes as England is facing rising costs of living, a living crisis, austerity budget cuts, and so on. And then you have those who are asking for reparations for colonialism, and they're wondering, $100 billion, $24 billion here and there, $500 million there. Some people want to be paid back, and members of the public are wondering, why are we suffering when you have all of this vast wealth? Those are legitimate concerns.
Well, I think you're right about reparations in terms of if people want it, though, what they need to do is you always need to go back to the beginning of a supply chain. Where was the beginning of the supply chain?
You hear this? Where was the beginning of the supply chain? Now, we've done a video here for Epic Times. We're going to replay it for you in just a second. We talked about the issue. Where was the beginning of the supply chain, as she put it? Because slavery, the African slave trade, transatlantic, done by the Europeans, and the Arab slave trade, done by the Muslim Arabs, could not have taken place without the complicity, cooperation of African chiefs who sold them en masse to European slavers and to Arab slavers. And Mr. Lamont seems to be clueless about that. Nor did he know, apparently, that Britain outlawed slavery some 20 years before we did, without the loss of 600,000 lives, both in the North and the South.
That was in Africa, and when across the entire world, when slavery was taking place, which was the first nation in the world that abolished slavery? The first nation in the world to abolish it. It was started by William Wilberforce, was the British. In Great Britain, they abolished slavery. 2,000 naval men died on the high seas trying to stop slavery. Why? Because the African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them on cages waiting in the beaches. No one was running into Africa to get them. And I think you're totally right. If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say who was rounding up their own people and having them handcuffed in cages. Absolutely. That's where they should start. And maybe, I don't know, the descendants of those families where they died in the high seas trying to stop the slavery, that those families should receive something too, I think, at the same time.
It's an interesting discussion, Hillary.
You see the expression? That's
Oh, let's get through. There's like three. The first part of it and what came about of the questions goes straight to what Chris made point of that happened in the Salem witch trials. Somebody's upset because the prince is getting all kinds of property and given to him as an inheritance. So now somebody feels they're cheated because, well, they're just pissed off they're not getting it, basically, right? So they're trying to find ways to take it. Just the way Chris was saying about, let's just make it say they're witches and we'll take their stuff. That's what I'm saying. The corruption, it's incorporated with every society. It's been there for years. But let's go back to what the video is talking about, reparations and the supply chain. It's not just like the other professor said, the Muslim slave trade, the African slave trade, all that slave trade. Gotta remember, back in the days, even on North American and native times, when another tribe took you over, guess what? You either became part of that tribe or you became a slave to that tribe. That's what it was. People are resources, and they talk about, and a lot of people say European, Caucasian. No. Let's talk about everybody else involved, just like the video said with the West Indian Trade Company, which is called the West Indian Company now. It's a Dutch company. There's one of the biggest transporters. They were people bringing across Portuguese people, the Spaniard people, the South African people, all the, in the Caribbean, everybody that's navigating the seas, come on over. Every nation in Africa, because everybody else, if you can prove that they had, they're descendants of slave owners or something, all they did was go down to the port or the fair or the market and make a purchase of a resource. That's the way people were thought of. So for us to sit here and say, oh, you deserve something, okay, because you were treated badly, basically. Then at every immigrant class that has come to America, Every single one of them. Even the white European people that a lot of people so despise, they were treated shitty by the Native Americans that were here. Every single racial class or every immigrant group that's come to this country has been treated like shit. It's made laws against them. It's tried to put them out, doesn't want to let them in, put them in jail for nothing, treated them like shit. So if we're going to go down that road, because that's the modern day slavery everybody wants to call it, then that's every descendant of every individual that's in this country right now. Every single one of us, then we all deserve reparations if you want to treat it like that. So now you're at UBI.
Yeah, let's talk about them 2,000 British sailors that were trying to stop this slave trade that lost their lives. Their family needs reparations too. And
exactly.
you know, the Civil War was 1.5 million casualties. All them Northern troops that died to free the slaves, because that's what the Civil War was about. And if I'm wrong, please stop me.
I'll stop you there.
I'll
stop you. It wasn't about that. It was over taxes for the fucking cotton. That Civil War would have ended. We closed off all the ports. Yeah. Abraham Lincoln signed the fucking treaty allowing the North gun makers to sell to the South without it being treason. That's what kept the war fucking going. That was about taxes and money and the government getting their shit too. Once again, the government wanting their money and will manipulate and put fear into everybody to get it.
Good call, Chris. Good call.
I was the exact same, Demas. Thought the exact same.
Good call.
The South wanted to represent themselves. They didn't want to be part of a union, and they fought for it.
Just like Texas still right now.
Slavery was a byproduct of the Civil War. It was something that's disgusting and terrible in our nation's history, but it happened. But like I said, every immigrant class of people, everybody that's been an immigrant that's come to this country has been treated like shit. They've been put down in slums, given poor housing, try to make laws against them, always try to overcrowd them, did non-political, influence. Hey, put them over there so they don't disturb the rich up in, Manhattan or whatever, or any other big
what they
city.
did to the Irish.
Exactly.
Look what they did to the Irish during slavery. This makes so much sense. Irish come over, they give the men the guns and go, hey, you want to be a citizen? Go fight the fucking war. They took the adult females and then put them in to go make all the artillery. Then they took the Irish children and gave them off to rich people, not just white. There were black slave owners out there, you racist bastards, who owned white slaves, racist bastards. So they would take the children and they would ship them off to rich people, and they classified the children as unwilling servants. What the fuck is an unwilling servant? A slave.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what
so
they
it was all what they want to play with. Now, with that thing, you can't go back and blame it on Africa. And Don Lemon is a fucking moron that can't even remember his history of a fucking year ago. Because if you remember when all the Democrats got together and had protested the knee in the office area where fat fuck Penguin couldn't get down, that garb that they were wearing to symbolize unity was actually the same garb that the Africans would wear during the ceremony the night before the trade, that were trading other Africans to these people, which, by the way, were going through the Central America ports like Jamaica and all those and getting dropped off before they even came here. It's a misconception that nobody made in this room, but it's a misconception that the slave port was from Africa to America. It wasn't from Africa to America. It went through Jamaica. It went through Central America and shit, and then it came to us.
Amen.
Yes, there was a lot of stuff like that.
No, but talk. So we brought up Don Lemon. He's the next one to get down. I mean, off this woke culture, and
well, he doesn't have his primetime show no more, bro. He doesn't have his show no more. Go ahead.
He's got a job, right?
Well, yeah, he does. He still
He's
has a
got a
job at
job.
CNN. Yes, yes.
He's got a job, and he's on his way out, man.
Touche.
Let's look at all the other hosts that are on their way out. Trevor Noah,
He
he
should
says
be out after that sexual harassment case that he got against the bartender at the bar like last year.
Yeah,
Yes.
that went away fast, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
because
even though if it's only one voice, it matters.
Okay, so
I'm sorry, I don't know where I'm at right now.
you were talking
Oh,
about
Donnie.
votes that are going down, but we were talking about that. We were basically talking about the reparations, and I'm saying, at what point do you want to go back and because we want to judge the past by today's standards? So okay, how far you want to go back, and what's going to determine who is actually treated like a slave? Because you can take the Chinese, Asian people that came in the West, right? Who built the other half of the railroads out west? We all tend to forget about that. It wasn't a bunch of cowboys and all. They were over there with whips and smacking such Asian people around to get them to do the brunt
Yeah.
labor.
Chinaman.
They were
yes.
they were POWs though, weren't they? During that
No.
time?
No.
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 Now hear me out. The Americans used to use POWs during World War II. One case in point, when I was stationed in Germany, my neighbor brought out a scrapbook, and it was him making Etzels. So that's how we treated the POWs during World War II. And I was just thinking if there was a correlation with the Chinese. Or
I
the
don't know
Japanese
if we
coming
were
in.
at war with anybody in the 18th century with that. I know.
We got a comment,
World War
guys. We got a
was
comment from a viewer here.
1942
You
or
can read it,
something.
man. It's all good.
39.
But wait a minute, Demas. You said 1800, and you're
No, I didn't say 1800. No, I know what year I know what year.
Where
the
you
World War
going with
started.
it? Where you going with it? As far as
You just wanted to know if they were POWs that was
That's it.
doing
No.
railroad.
no,
Because I know
but- okay.
back in World War II, when the Japanese were hushed away in camps, and God knows what happened in them camps in California.
exactly.
You know,
So
they need reparations too.
Exactly, Demas. That's why I say every immigrant class that's come to this nation has been treated like absolute shit.
Yes.
Let's be honest with it. We want to sit here and say
course.
The low
praising
man on the
ourselves.
totem pole.
We're-
Low
we're-
man on the
we're-
totem pole.
Yeah. No, they've all been treated like shit. So
Yeah.
now you're at a point. That's every one of our descendants. So we all. Why can't we all have reparations? What's up? Come get your love. Tell me what I got, man.
No, and I totally understand where you're getting at with immigrants, and I could speak totally for it too, because I'm a first generation American, so that makes my parents were immigrants. Fucking construction worker and seamstress. That's what my parents did. Not for 2 years, not for 5 years. We're talking 30 years, because that's the way they were bred into them. You're lower class, so you get lower jobs.
Right. Right.
Exactly. No, I see you. Look at Nancy Pelosi, the comment she made, the gall and the nerve she has about Florida, with the Martha's Vineyard. I don't think you should. Go ahead, Donnie. Take over. You're hyped.
No, go for it, man. Go for it.
No, man. Go, man.
No, she says that about immigrants. Now all of a sudden they have a purpose. They can benefit you. So now all of a sudden you're all for it. Oh, that's
a racist comment.
Now it's wrong. Now we're all effed up, and you want to bust on that governor, but yet one of the leading cities of shipping out immigrants from a border town is Democratic led.
Exactly. Don't you understand? Don't you see it? Don't you understand it? Ever since them migrants were sent, to the island, Martha's Vineyard, this is all of a sudden even bigger topic, I should say. It was being talked about, but in moderation. But ever since, you know what I mean, they got sent to that island, Martha's Vineyard. You know what I mean? Now it's like, it's all over again. How dare you? How dare you send these people here?
Look what they did with the White House after January 6th. Not even the White House, where their fucking offices. Look what they did. All of a sudden, we shouldn't have walls. Look what the only place has walls right now. We shouldn't have armed guards. Look who has armed guns. Everything that they say is wrong, once it benefits them, they're real fucking
Involves
quick
them,
to
yes.
use it and then act like they never say shit. Jim Crow, I'm talking to you, Democrats. But it's everything
crazy.
that they do, they have a problem with, but then they use it. And once they get all the heat for it, then it goes on a Republican.
Yeah,
You
it's
know, the
it's
Republicans said
impossible.
it.
It's impossible to cancel these people. That's how ridiculous
No.
it is. You know what I mean?
Welcome to American
Stupid.
politics. We're the only country in the world that if you try to fucking overturn, it's called treason.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And I forget who said it too. I forget who said it too. There was a couple of foreign leaders that came forward and said, "Oh, if this was to happen in our country, it would be a coup, or it would be this, and it would be bad. You would condemn it. You know, in your
Right, but-
country, it's nothing.
What's
okay.
going on in America? To sum up, I know what you're saying because I read it. What's going on in America right now? If it was going on in another country, America would go there and try to liberate them.
Exactly.
But because it's happening in here to us right now, by the way that our government is treating us and making us do shit against our wills and shit, it's called them looking out for our best interest. But any other country, we would be over there to liberate them right now.
Exactly. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, listen, stick around for more of the rabbit hole. We're going to take another 4-minute break, and we're going to continue on this subject. And also, we're going to get into a few other things, touching base on slavery, I want to say it now, but no, we got to take a break. So stick around. We're not going anywhere. We're just taking a 4-minute break, and we'll be right back, man, with more of the rabbit hole. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the rabbit hole with yours truly, Blazeman, Mr. D, Mr. Donald, and our bro from down the road, and special guest tonight, Mr. Crispy Faco, everybody. Mr. Crispy's here. He's he's getting old. Again, blessed with a brand new baby little girl. And you get a chance, go and check out Crispy Faco's Facebook page. If you're into watching gaming and getting some instructions and how to maybe do a castle or beat the fucking dragon or whatever, Chris is the guy. His page you want to go check out. Again, so look, the whole thing for me is now. Listen, we were a racist country. Okay, we were a racist country. Listen, down
Still a
south.
racist country. It's just
Yeah,
reverse.
no, man. See, listen. Okay, I'm just gonna shoot my my spiel out here, and that's it, right?
Shoot your load. Shoot your load. Be quiet. Shoot your load.
So, so I mean, back in the 50s, 40s, 50s, and back then, black people were, you couldn't go. You had to go to a black store. You couldn't go to a white store. It was like there was no coloreds allowed, man. You couldn't go to a white bathroom if you was colored. That was frowned upon. They would lock you up for that, man. You know what I mean? And colored people were treated like fucking slaves. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. My God, to get some kids that want to go to a college or a high school, and you literally have the National Guard involved because the governor down south, doesn't want that. That's what it was like back then. Is this country like that now? No fucking way. No fucking way whatsoever. We had a black president, ladies and gentlemen.
The whitest black man I ever met.
Listen, is there racist? I think there's racism all around the world. And the United States, listen, man, all you got to do is just see how, if you want to say the United States used to be a racist country, yes, say it by all means, because to me nowadays, I mean, that card gets used in so many situations, it's not even funny, and now because they got the younger youth that will buy into their one last fucking ditch to keep this country divided and racism, because that is the Democrats' milk and butter. Okay, that's all I got to say about that, man. It's the Democrats' milk and butter. Keep them poor, keep them where they need the money, and we're good. We'll just throw it at them. We'll keep them in the projects. We'll keep them in the housing projects, all of that shit. They're actually for, the father not staying home with the mother and raising the child. So that's my opinion how Democrats are. Okay. How many people across the border? The border's been open. Over 1 million. Over 1 million have crossed that border that are now in this country. 1 million.
Illegally.
Listen, not according to the Biden administration. Nothing's happening with them people. Them people ain't getting riled up by ICE and being brought back over the border. That shit is not happening. And the only reason why it's happening because the Democrats in their Darth Vader type wisdom, okay, are they sit there and go, oh, there's more votes. There's vote. There's vote. There's vote. There's vote. And just screw everything else around it. Chris, go.
Pretty much he's saying everything. I don't understand the way that this government is right now, where they're doing so much fucked up shit, but they're telling everybody they're not. This is how bad it is. Back in the day, we had conspiracy theories. And it got to the point that everybody would look into something and see a conspiracy theory. that nowadays they're doing it right in front of you because they believe that people, and it's true, because you see it happening every fucking day. People aren't looking at what they're saying anymore. They're automatically listening to one sentence and then trying to go find a conspiracy theory in it, even though they're telling you right there exactly what the fuck is going on. So now people's opinions are over there. To real quick, back to one last thing about the reparation bullshit. Hey, anybody out there, you ever want to win an argument with a black person? I've done it I've done it like over 20 times. All right. You ever want to win an argument with a black person over reparation? Ask them what part of Africa they're from. They won't tell you, but they'll tell you they're African. Okay, fine. So you're claiming a continent, not a country. Okay. So are you going to pay retribution for the Egyptians and the pyramids? I'm asking for a friend. I guarantee you it will end that conversation like when they say it's a holiday tree, call it a fucking candle fixture, a holiday candle fixture. It will end that goddamn conversation real quick. They'll start calling it a damn Christmas tree if you call it a menorah.
I think that's just ignorance. White person being ignorant, black person being ignorant. There's everybody's ignorant. You know what I mean? Some people just don't know better.
I think that's an excuse now for people because half of the ignorance is common sense.
They have that excuse because that's what the Democrats teach. They want to put it in your schools now. They want to do all kinds of things like that. And we have a comment here. Let me see if I can read it. If anybody can read it, sound it off.
I'm all for
I am all for immigration seeking better life or coming to the U.S., but they need to earn their keep. Most of the Portuguese migrants came to America and earned their stay. Nowadays, they don't have to earn their stay. Very good.
Well said, Justin.
Yep, very good. Yes.
There's truth to it.
Goes back to the Irish coming off of the boats. We were given guns and told to go fight for our citizenship.
Hey, but no, Donnie, wait a minute, Donnie. Let me interject here, please. So we still do that today, but not in that dramatic fashion. We let immigrants, green card holders, not migrants, because they haven't been processed or vetted yet, but we let migrants go in our military, and in return, we give them citizenship. What a deal. What a deal. What a deal. You serve your country, and you tell everybody else when you get out, fuck you. I serve this country. What have you done?
Yeah.
What can you say? What can you say? Right. And then we lose migrants. But I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, but then you're questioning who you're accepting in the military. Just look at Argentina right now because we forgot history and shit. What happened in the 80s is happening again. When the Cubans came over here, Castro sent all their prisoners. Chris. Now Argentina is sending their prisoners up here.
Yeah,
and it's actually reported now that they're emptying their prisoners to send them here.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to rebuttal that? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go.
I didn't see it on CNN or Fox News. I lived it. I served with a lot of migrant soldiers. And they were quality acts. Quality acts, Donnie.
I don't give a fuck if you have a green card or fucking anything. I really don't. As long as you're a good person to me, I don't give a fuck. Even if you're an asshole to me, I still don't give a fuck. I'm more.
Right, man.
It doesn't affect me. It affects me. I've lost jobs to illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
I lost construction jobs. I've lost roofing jobs. You got 20 of them working for $5.
But my point, it sucks. But my point is though, at least 85% of those people that come across that border are going to be hardworking folk.
Yeah.
Hardworking folk. You know what I mean? But then again, there's a pretty good percentage that are just going to come over here to do. So anyhow, it's just the fucking Democrats for you, man. Donnie, take this shit.
No, but no, I want to take a minute to do your point, Blaze. It's not just Democrats that don't give a shit. It's Republicans too, because to them it's buying their vote. They promise things.
Okay, go ahead.
We've allowed them to build it this way because they've been in office, and we don't have the counterparts and whatnot. So we've kind of built this society where it lets people go this way. It's our own fault. And just like Chris was mentioning, you don't think countries have been doing that before, where they're empty their prisons to us? Hell yeah, they have.
Of course.
Of course. But I want to make mention to what Demon said about you serve and you get citizenship. It's not a promise. It just helps you along in the process to gain your citizenship by enlisting, right? You still get vetted the same way. But
yeah,
I think you should get out of paying that fee.
No,
if you serve, you should get out of paying the fee.
They probably do. Who knows? But in essence, we're making it an incentive to serve, right? That sounds a lot like conscription and what Putin's doing in the Russia right now. What he's doing with dual citizens, American and Russian. They're telling Americans to get out because Papa Putin's saying, "Hey, you're Russian citizen. Guess what? You get to go serve. I don't give a shit." So, I mean,
and that's the way it should be.
And
you're on their country, you're on their land.
Listen, no. But the Democrats want to say that's so wrong, that's authoritarian, and that's just evil. And they want to go put it out, right? We want to go help Ukraine get rid of that evil in the world. Well, if you just do it in reverse and give them an incentive, it's the same damn principle. Service.
What I would like to know,
right?
Did we do that during the Vietnam draft?
Yeah, Donnie, you're right.
Did we do that during the Vietnam draft? Where we drafting people that belong to another country but will live in here?
Who knows? Good point, though. That's another group of people that need reparations because we did them dirty as a government.
Yeah, really dirty.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
There's another class. Just give them some money. We'll just keep borrowing and running at $2 trillion a year as a deficit. Epic, man. Who cares?
Hey, Donnie, I just want to add something to this, and this is with Blazing. You can hop right back in. So the Hispanics and the brothers, they're tired of this Democratic wolf ticket, and they see the writing on the wall, man. The test will be come November 8th, if this country has any hope or if it's going to continue the same path down this fucking shithole. Not rabbit hole, but shithole.
Right. Yes,
Donnie?
sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, I can somewhat agree. I think I hope there's a middle consensus that comes out that says, you know what, we need to peel it back a little bit and take a breath, and I don't want to see the extremes on either side because that's all that seems to be out there. It's either extreme left or extreme right. There's nobody in between you can vote for, and anybody with some sense or whatever. So I don't know. It's gonna be. I don't know.
Brings me to another point when they're helping these immigrants fill out this voting forms, because trust me, they are gonna get fucking help and they are gonna get persuaded. Are any of them gonna be told about the third parties? Or is it just going to come down to the Democrats who gave you a place to come and the Republicans that want to kick you the fuck out? Are they going to be told about the third parties, that they have other options? They can vote for Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, they'll be told this, like, they'll get one of them speed talkers on the commercials, and it'll go about that fast. And they'll say, you'll have 3 different options, Democrat, Republican, Independent. Okay, and we're moving on. That's about how fast it'll go in the conversation. They'll say, yep, I told them. So they'll check them out.
Hey, but the statistics are showing, especially here in Texas, the border counties, that a lot of these hardcore Democrats, they're going Republican, man.
Yes.
They are going Republican. And so is the brothers. But I want to add something else, man, with the brothers and the Hispanics and the Asians, all others, is that they're doing something for themselves. You see a lot of these minority groups being successful on hard work and staying away from woke culture. And that's all I got on that.
100% correct, Demas. Why is it that we're so woke and we've done such hard crimes to so many people, but Asians are the same way? They're coming over, they're opening up all these little, you can say all you want to, but anywhere you go around, there's 3 or 4 different choices for Asian food now. Different styles or whatever, right? So they come, they open a business, same little strip mall. Guess what? You got mom and pop little, taco truck or whatever. Especially in the border towns and stuff. You got your little food courts, and it's nothing but mom and pop taco trucks. What do? They come over here, they work hard, they make a living, and they thrive. And they're teaching their kids about business, how to make for yourself, be independent, and they pay their taxes. They do everything right
Yes, they
by
do.
the law. They do everything they're supposed to
Yes,
do.
they do.
But we're going to tell
Yes,
them
they
they're,
do.
if we're a Democrat or if we're a Republican, we're going to sway that into, and influence it and, word it in a way that it says that that immigrant is a problem or a positive, depending on which way we need it to be for a vote. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Beto O'Rourke and there's a lot of these other Democrats that are running for governors, and they're talking about, oh, these people shouldn't be used as pawns in a political game and blah, blah. What the hell did you just do in your statement, dude?
Exactly.
You just used them as a political game. It's just a lot of people, I think, when they
Vote.
talk about woke, some of it is they're just seeing the hypocrisy and they're like, whoa, step back. This ain't right.
No,
Politics has
no,
always been a chess game, and the American
Yeah.
citizens have always
No.
been the pawns.
yeah, but we
Yeah.
never experienced this woke culture, man. We
No.
never
Not
have.
like this.
And
Not
and major companies, large organizations, they're done with it, and they're like, "Fuck you, woke culture." No, and I'm
Because look
serious.
how stupid it is. Anybody ever notice that the fucking female basketball player that brought illegal drugs from America that were illegal to have in Germany, nobody's talking about it anymore since a black fucking mermaid came out.
Yes.
They were all woke about getting her free. Dennis Rodman was supposed to go over there. Everything was supposed to be settled. Get her the fuck home. Even though we have hundreds of other American citizens in prison for the same exact bullshit over there. But as soon as a black mermaid came out, boom. All of a sudden, the woke culture stopped about a real live fucking human being to stop and argue about a fictional fucking character from a cartoon.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
how woke is it really? Or is it just
That's
once
how it
again,
is, bro.
manipulation
Yes.
to play on people's minds
Right.
to get
That's how
them
it
to
is.
be like, boom. Now they're using the kids to get the adult propaganda pushed
Yes.
and shit. Where it's like, oh look, these kids. It's like a white kid does not give a fuck if Little Mermaid is black. The
No.
only
Nope.
reason why that white kid gives a fuck is because he heard daddy fucking douchebag in the corner complaining how his childhood's ruined because they changed it, not realizing that in the cartoon back in the 90s, they had fucking black mermaids.
Yes. Okay. So you're absolutely right. You know what I mean? Because it again, you can't say this enough. There's thousands of people that had said this, and you're taught this at home. You're taught all of this shit at home,
Yeah.
plain and simple.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And the basketball player Brittany, if I'm correct, I think she should be shipping out tomorrow to the front lines of Ukraine because he was going to empty out the prisons, wasn't he, Putin?
It's, yeah,
not
yeah,
sure.
I'm
Was
just
he?
talking shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes,
You bullshit.
yes,
Yeah.
to fight. No, and I just brought this up because it kills me how this woman stood in front of 10,000 fans at every basketball game and she would drop to a knee to
Yes.
protest how fucked up this country is. Now she wants a red flag. Come on, where
That
does the
surprises you though.
uh, yes,
Look at
yes,
Beyonce in the halftime
Why?
Super
Because you
Bowl
thought
show.
that her kneeling was something she was fucking like.
You're protesting the government.
Yeah.
yes,
You're
exactly.
protesting the same
Yes,
people that you want to be
yes,
that you
yes,
want to come to your safety.
yep.
It was
Yes.
like
And help
Beyonce.
you for breaking the law,
Yeah,
and
it
help
was
you for breaking the law in another
Shit,
country.
if that was any one of us, oh, have a good life. Get used
They
to vodka
fucking
with
A.
potatoes.
Absolutely.
Beyonce during the halftime show
Yeah,
and stuff. She did
I
that
saw
whole
it.
political shit with fucking the cops like all
Yeah,
shooting
yep,
people and them all
yep.
falling to the ground. And then right after the fucking show, she got pissed off because the cops were like, no, we're not giving you a personal escort to the fucking airport. And she went on a tirade because the cops would not protect her going to the airport. You
Right.
just did a political show at a halftime with all these people watching, calling cops killers,
Yeah.
and then
Condemning
you
us.
want to like go use the killer to escort you to the fucking airport. It's not surprising. That's the way it's been, but that's the way it always is. I'll be honest with you. Everybody wants to use the race card and shit until they need something from you. Then all of a sudden, you're the best in the fucking world that they ever met. But as soon as they disagree, as soon as you disagree with something that they say again, all of a sudden it's a racist thing.
Exactly. So, and guys, it's insane. So, since that we jumped on the Russia Ukraine thing,
We didn't jump on it. We just touched it. We can go back to sanctuary. We can go to sanctuary cities, immigration, LGBTQ, and wokeness. I don't want to go to Ukraine.
What? We keep complaining about wokeness, but wokeness is at the Supreme Court now. What about all the stuff the Supreme Court's going to look at in their next session?
Well, they've been looking at it. They've been changing shit for a while. That whole taking knee using the gobs from the slavery fucking things. That was a whole woke movement.
Hey,
we're with you. We've been in office for 50 years, fucking you over and putting bills in to put your people in prison for extra long time. But hey, we stand with you.
Hey, Blaze.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
So the Supreme Court just vacated a Massachusetts gun law. Oh, what does that entail?
I didn't even pay attention to it.
Yeah, that was one they just recently ruled on, and they vacated the Massachusetts.
I mean, they're
gun
so
law.
fucking. Listen, in all honesty, yes, doing a show like this, I should have been a little bit knowledgeable about that. But
no.
But no. Of course,
I'm not
yes,
checking.
sir.
I'm not
Listen,
checking
I know
on it.
you're not checking, dude. I know you're not checking. But listen, we have so many fucking laws that it's like. You're not, you know what I mean? You're not sitting there and go, oh, what the fuck? You mean, they're doing this now? Something that you would do living in El Paso and stuff, you know what I mean? Because your gun laws are like way different. So you would catch that right away,
Yeah.
So, but no, I have no idea what it's for, you know what I mean? So, but I know it's probably something else to take a citizen's rights away or,
No, it's to give a citizens more of a right.
Okay.
In Massachusetts to carry a personal handgun.
Really, Massachusetts? Can I get the link for that, please?
Yeah, right. I mean, what news station did you hear this from all the way out there in Texas? It's crazy.
Love you too, hon.
Here we go. You're preaching about gun control and how guns are killers and all this stuff, but you're gonna arm the people. You're gonna through policy or legislation. You're gonna arm the very people that are the cause of the gun violence. But you're gonna do laws to further arm them. How does that make any sense?
It doesn't.
What is that gonna do for anybody? And that's local government. So imagine, because look at the immigration and the politics, and we'll talk about how it leads to voting. A lot of people don't need a federal ID to vote in state and local elections. All you got to do is show proof of residency in some cases, and you can vote. You don't have to be a citizen if it's a local election. So think of the Democrats playing chess, as Chris said. I'm going to play chess, and I'm going to get a lot of these Democrats down here. A lot of these people in 10, 20 years, they're going to be right here, ready to vote, ready to do this, and they'll remember how we did for them. That's a key point in all of this. I mean, we keep going down the same road, and it just gets us in worse and worse holes. So what's the answer to immigration and voting then? If you try to make it hard, or like the Supreme Court's going to rule on LGBTQ voting, but what makes them special that they get a special reason to vote at a federal level? Then if you standardize it, then it shouldn't be a problem. But we're so sensitive about pronouns. We don't want to be gendered, so we want to be like, as an individual, I want to have they or them. That's how I want you to identify me. That just shows how ignorant our woke culture is, because you want to use a plural pronoun to describe an individual. That's great. And that's in our politics right now. That's the stupid shit we vote on.
Absolutely. And with that being said, our next segment is gonna come back, and Stick around for more of the rabbit hole. We're going to throw a little video up there for you. Then we're going to take our break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, that's going to be our next topic. Go run away, D.
To illegally annex 4 regions of Ukraine. But Russian forces are quite frankly struggling to keep control of those territories that the Kremlin insists are now part of Russia. Today, Ukrainian troops continue to liberate several settlements in the country's east and south. Ukrainian military officials insist their blitz has crippled Russia's attempts to move additional troops and ammunition to the front lines. The Kremlin responding by launching kamikaze drones deep inside Ukraine. Ukrainian officials say the attack hit a military base and other buildings about 50 miles south of Kyiv, the capital, today. They say nobody got hurt. This video shows smoke billowing from the destroyed buildings. Russian forces have been launching Iranian-made drones in recent weeks, but this was the closest drone attack to the Ukrainian capital since Russia began using weapons on the battlefield. Ukraine has a weapon that Russia does not have: high mobility artillery rocket launchers, or HIMARS. The United States and allies have been sending those weapons to the front lines. Ukrainian officials say they've been crucial in their counteroffensive and their takeback of territory. International coverage now from our sister network Sky News and their correspondent Deborah Haynes on the front lines in eastern Ukraine.
Tipping the balance on the battlefield in Ukraine's favor.
These British weapons are vital for Ukraine, giving troops the ability to hit valuable Russian targets at a distance with precision. We have to get back to the car now quickly. We've been told we've got 4 minutes to get out of here.
With Russian guns able to strike back fast, it could be fatal to stand still. No one hangs around. Hours earlier, Sky News went to meet soldiers operating the multiple launch rocket systems given to Ukraine by the UK.
We're being taken to the rocket launcher now. We've been told to turn off our mobile phones to avoid them being tracked. The location of the site is top secret.
Each launcher is well hidden to avoid detection by Russia. It's the first time anyone's been granted access to one of the British systems in this war. We're not allowed to say where it is, other than eastern Ukraine, and identifying soldiers is forbidden. The UK has given Ukraine 6 of these rocket launchers, veterans of past wars, winning new fans. The soldiers live in the cabin as well as fight. Telltale signs of its origin aren't hard to find. These are the missiles. It can hold 12 in total, each with a range of more than 50 miles. Suddenly a call comes in. They've got a new mission. Go right a bit, one soldier says. Target locked. The commander, in English, says fire. A switch is flicked. We watch from a distance. The target is apparently a mobile command post. Video footage has been capturing the impact of artillery strikes similar to the one we witnessed. Here, Russian armoured vehicles are destroyed. The soldiers constantly check encrypted devices for new orders. Another one comes in, and out they roll. It's a relentless fight for survival, and the aim is to win. Deborah Haynes, Sky News, in eastern Ukraine.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the rabbit hole with yours truly, Blazeman, Mr. B, Mr. D, and Mr. Donald. And of course, special host tonight, Mr. Crispy Faco. Go to Faco's World on Facebook and go check him out if you're into gaming, all that stuff like that. What do we got here? Snuffly. Okay, so Chris, you want to jump out?
No, I did.
Okay, because I can't tell by the name changing. So
Go
ahead.
That was me, real quick, bro.
Go ahead, Donald.
I wanted to get real quick before we go on to Ukraine. There's two cases that are going to hit the Supreme Court that I think we really should pay attention to and maybe talk about at some point. You got it's called Merrill versus Milligan in Alabama, where it talks about gerrymandering and people doing voting districts certain ways so that they don't have a black majority or this majority, that majority, right? So it's going to be heard by the Supreme Court. And then you got the Students for Fair Admission versus Harvard, and then SFAA versus UNC, where it talks about scores being adjusted due to race on an admission test and things of that nature. So think about this. That's two cases that, depending on which way they go, could very well set a precedent to legalize discrimination in the United States. Think about that before we go to Ukraine.
I think they're gonna not go with the affirmative action. I think it needs to go. I think the American public knows it, and I think the Supreme Court knows it as well.
Oh, I know.
I really don't believe that one's gonna continue on. I think they're gonna vacate that one. I really do. And then just another thing real quick, Donnie, and I hate stepping all over you. They just fired this 82-year-old professor from NYU teaching common physics. I think it was common physics. It's the hottest physics you can take. And the students complained to him. They complained to the faculty there, and this guy got fired. He got fired.
What did they say?
The course was too hard. They were coming out of COVID. He doesn't give extra work. And this course here is where your doctors, your dentists, your doctors, nurses, take. So when next time you go to the hospital, ask them, hey, how'd you do in Common Core physics?
Right.
Yeah, because Donnie was talking about juicing everything up so everybody gets a little fair share just by being there. And that's what sucks these days, man.
No, fuck that. I don't want that shit. I agree.
No,
I
man.
agree. Off
No,
the top.
Yeah, 82-year-old professor at NYU, they fired him because his students complained that his course was so hard. Fucking college courses are supposed to be hard, no, Donnie?
Yes, they are. But I don't know. I could see where, like, I took accounting 2 online and I failed it. I was just struggling. I tried to do it online. I tried to do all that. And this professor I had, he was the same way. You get on the chat, he really didn't help out much. There wasn't nothing to like, hey, I'm going to be out in the field. I'm not going to be around internet. Can you, give me an extension? He didn't care. He's like, hey, you chose to take the class. This is where you need to go. And everything was read the book, right? So when I went to try to say, hey, don't take the money back out of my check, because, in the Army, how they used to do to help us go to school, right? Oh, wait. Right. That's when I found out, that 70% of that class, we were all in the 50s, man. And he wasn't great on the curve. So, I mean, we could have complained, but I don't think you need to fire a guy. I mean, you're right. At some point, you guys are pushing this college education and how great it is and how it's going to get you this higher paying job and all this good stuff. Well, shit, I expect the class to be a little hard. Make you earn that. I mean, I just don't want to hand you a piece of paper, which most diplomas are now. But that's what happened and it's watered down to that point. Because we just handed it out and we kept crying because it was too hard.
Yeah, Chris?
I just got one question about college because I didn't do college. I'll be straight up. I went into construction. I figured if Armageddon ever hit, I could bother with somebody to keep a leak off of their head while they're sleeping for some food. But I just have one question. Do you think the guy who created college went to college?
No. Nope.
Well, I hope not, because he
smart
was creating.
businessman. He's a smart businessman. He had a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes,
He
sir, Donnie.
exploited it. That's all he
Yes,
did.
sir. And Donnie, wasn't you were talking in not on the show but offline that how you foresee in 20 years college will not be the main staple of education?
No, it won't. I don't think it will. A lot of stuff you read, I'm reading it, like New York Post or Washington. It's all about education focused. Their little education departments or whatever. Hey, Newsweek and some other places, they all say that a lot of it's going to go to online learning. So you're going to basically do most of it online, and your campus sizes will be minimal, because that's the only, doctors and scientists and some of them, the higher paying, high tech type stuff. Yeah, you need physical facilities to do, but all that core stuff, we can do that online, man.
Yeah, but Donnie, please, no, Donnie. I think online.
I think that's a fucking bad idea. Yeah.
No, I think online is so watered down, Donnie, and I know you. And if you took accounting 2 in the classroom environment, you would have passed it.
I did. I retook them at Park because I had to do some stuff.
But you
yeah,
took it in a classroom.
Right, and once it was on a board in front of me, it made sense. Yes.
You need human interaction to learn.
We do virtual. It's virtual. You can do that virtually. I got class at 10 o'clock. Here's the link to log in. I'm a professor in front of a board, and I'm sitting in front of a camera from, my garage or something. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of that is going to go. I see it dwindling down, and I see a lot more vocational stuff coming up. People getting certified, Demas. Look at who we worked with one day, Mr. Avery, right?
Yes.
And Mr. Kempty, right? They were chasing that degree, but guess what certifications they had before they had them degrees?
They didn't have PhD, right? No,
they were close, but they.
Yes.
Yeah, Six Sigma and some stuff too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So it incorporates PMP incorporates some of that Six Sigma stuff. So they had them black belts in that Six Sigma and some other things, and guess what? That's what got them that job where they was at.
Hey guys, we have another comment from a viewer, and the viewer says, "How do you guys feel about the college loan forgiveness money they're giving out?"
Donnie, you want to take this one?
I give it to everybody.
We've talked about this. I think we can all answer. Go, Donnie.
Give it to everybody or don't give it at all. You made choices. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the rules. They've made it so complicated that people that are supposed to give the forgiveness don't even know how to do it. I don't agree with the rules of, like my brother, him and his wife both went to school together, met, that's where they got. They combined their debt when they got married because it was told to them by the federal government, it'll reduce the reduction rate or interest rate, and it'll be better for you, right? So guess what now? If you combine those loans, that makes you ineligible for the forgiveness. Because you got married? Oh,
that's fucking nuts. See?
Wow.
And we talked about this on the show too, that something stupid shit was going to happen.
And it's the same with Social Security. When you got to get put into, we all do it. And this goes back to what Crispy was talking about. The government is always taking. Now it's illegal, right? But when you get older, if you're married, they tax you. If you combined, you guys make $50,000, right? But if you file your taxes as single and you're not married, both of you could make $40,000 or $25,000 and you're not taxed.
It's just retarded.
That's crazy. So that's the policies and the rules we got to change. The student forgiveness, brother, I'll get back to it. It's bullshit because then you put dollar amounts to it. Oh, if you're single and make over $125,000 because you went to law school for 8 years, you don't qualify. His ass got bills no different than the guy that went to community college or, the 4-year school. He got bills just the same. So why can't he have the same 10 grand?
Oh,
him, however they want to be, known as, when the pronouns. I don't know. But
oh wow.
I'm
Sorry,
just saying,
Donnie.
they deserve the same 10,000. What about those that paid their loans back? Do we get our loans back at least, or up to $10,000 of that loan that we paid back?
Right?
Do we
I got
get our
you.
money
Okay.
back?
Right. So, Chris, go ahead.
So I was just looking into it, right? So Biden's only approving if you do if you filed for Pell Grants, which is
Pell
Donnie?
Grants are supposed to be free from everything I've been taught and told. Pell
Yeah,
Grants are
Pell
pretty much
Grant is a
free.
form of need-based federal finance aid that typically does not have to be repaid.
Right.
In the meantime, at the end of August, Biden canceled $10,000 in student loan debts per borrower and $20,000 in student debt for those who use Pell Grants.
Right.
So he pretty much approved the people that don't need to pay it back, while the people that are still obligated, like my wife, that we have to live in New York for 7 years and we have to pay back X amount of money toward that grant for my wife to go to culinary school. We cannot move. Otherwise, we would have already moved. I would have got up again with $50 in my pocket and fucking moved state. Wouldn't have been the first time I did it with my kid, with my family.
No, you're gonna need 75 this time, bro, because you got another child.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, maybe 65.
Yeah, pretty good money.
And even $100. But you're right. He's 100% right. That's where the student loan forgiveness leads everybody to. What about those higher earners, the dentists, the doctors? They could use the same 10 grand. And here's the other thing. Nobody can explain. I can't find it. Maybe you guys can help me find it. Can't find any video to say, are you sending that out, that loan forgiveness out, the 1099s at the end of the year so that they pay the taxes on them at least? Are we sending that out? Because that's supposedly was supposed to happen with the taxes, about how they're going to get people to making sure they file and shit, right? Well, do the same here. Generate some money to help pay for it, because you keep throwing all this debt and this forgiveness and this war, aid packages all over the globe, and the taxpayer, the amount you can get from taxpayers keeps shrinking because everybody just keeps getting poor. So tell me where you're going to get the money to pay it.
Yeah,
at least tax them on it.
Yeah, it's all right, yeah.
Did he answer the question enough, Blaze?
Justin, I'm pretty sure Justin's happy with his answer. Very good, Donnie. Very good.
I would have took it, but I'm under the weather.
Yeah, no. Justin, it was a great question, and we hope that they satisfied some of your needs or whatever.
I would just like to add something to this, and maybe this can be one of the answers to his question. Is my concern is that you throw a lot of incentives out for the military that they need for recruiting. That kills me, and then that just puts the military in another class, fucking poorer and poorer. You don't want to help, and shit. The Army missed their goal by 20,000 training seats. They missed it, and the retention sucks right now with this woke policy bullshit, because it's happening in the military too.
Okay, so when we get back to like some of our allies, Germany, where it's mandatory 2 years of service, don't be coming talking about, oh no, it'll come, because you have to defend yourself. There's
so when
no
you're
way
in
we
Germany,
can function without an operational military. We'd be
in
dead
Germany,
in the water as a society.
When you're born a boy.
What? Blaze.
I think it's Donnie. He moved around, and then it just started all getting staticky.
But I can answer Donnie's question before we move on.
Go ahead, Chris.
So, Donnie, certain states. Shit.
It's gone.
So, Donnie, certain states, Indiana, Mississippi, and North Carolina, plan on taxing the forgiveness student loan. There's also 3 more states that are thinking of following suit, which is Arkansas, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. The taxes, the percent of that they're going to want people to pay back is like 3.25%.
3.25%. Okay.
Mm.
I mean, that sounds like a loan, but here's the thing. What about that video we saw a couple weeks ago with that Democrat from Oregon that said that student forgiveness, there was some kind of compromise or laid on the table and it got turned down over, some other bullshit little bill that had nothing to do with the student loan forgiveness.
And
I
I
mean,
just want to add
damn.
something on this, Donnie. And then we saw that other video where congressmen are walking out of the Capitol, and some Democrats are telling soldiers, and we're talking about the student loan forgiveness because this happened in the time zone for soldiers to go on fucking food stamps, but we can give out
Oh,
$10,000 for education. You want
yeah.
insurance first or education? Having a strong military is a good insurance policy for your country so you don't get invaded. Where the fuck is their thinking here, man?
That was the whole point of what we showed that video the other 2 weeks. They haven't updated
Nah,
that
Yes, we
stuff for the
talked about
military. I
that.
mean,
No,
we talked about it, but it goes
yeah, we
back to
talked.
what was said.
nah,
If
but
those
you,
states
Chris,
are going to tax it at 3.25, at least they're doing something to recoup some money. Because here's the thing I don't understand, and I will try to like to know. All these people that are going to, get forgiven their loans, right? I'm company A that has the loan that Chris and Demas are going to get forgiven. Who's giving me my 20 grand
the
with the
government,
interest and the goon?
the
So,
government
okay,
is.
right. So my interest rate was 10%. You're giving them a loan at 2.5. So where does the other 7.5% come from to get funded? And what if the company said, hell no, this was the duration of the loan. I don't care about your 10 days or whatever. You give me the duration. So what's the true cost of it all?
The
That's what I'd
taxpayers
like to
paying
know.
it like always.
Exactly. Taxpayers going to pay it.
See, and this is what I've
They're
noticed
going to
over the
snip it
last
and
couple of
warehouse it on
years.
some bullshit.
Is that our government doesn't do it to everybody, right? Remember when everybody was getting the EBT? Hey, listen, if I could get the government to fucking pay my rent, I'll take it. I got no shame to my game. I could use that extra money. Everybody could use that extra money. I'll take it. So I got no moral compass on it's right, it's wrong. If you could use it, thank you, government, for letting people get it, but just stop giving it to all the fucking heroin addicts so they could go sell their food stamps to go get their drugs. But when everybody was getting the extra money for food stamps during
Sure.
COVID, my wife was still working. And we were supposed to get it just like everybody else was getting it. Well, now we can't get food stamps. We've been kicked off of the program because we made too much.
Yeah.
And not only that, now the government has taken my wife to court to get the money back. But here's the thing. It's not $1 for $1. It's $2 for $1. And even the government, every time they went to court, they had a new figure. It was agreed
Yes.
on this figure. The last day, it was a higher figure. Then even after that, they set my wife another fucking figure that was higher than the one that was agreed on in front of the judge. And shit. So I'm sorry, but I know people that are also on it that it didn't happen to, that think I'm a lying sack of shit, while there's other people out there that it's happened to too. They're using certain people to pay it back by scumbagging them, because it don't make no sense to me. If everybody's gonna get it, if you're gonna give people that are living on welfare and shit, like getting the SSI, SSDI, whatever kind of checks, they're not gonna pay taxes back. You can't even go after them for child support and shit. But you're gonna make everybody who works a legit job busting their ass trying to put food on their plate while prices are going sky high now. Fucking gallon of milk is a gallon of gas.
Yeah,
So
it's better. It's better to be a fucking drug addict now, and you'll get everything to get up every day at fucking Jesus Christ, fucking Donnie texts me fucking 6:15, 6:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? You fucking got to get up when you go to work, and again, they fuck the working class. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I mean? That's it. They sit there and say, "Oh, if you make 120," I don't even think people that make $120,000 a year should fucking get any extra fucking money. If you can't live on a salary like that, and especially if both parents make a salary like that, if you can't live on that, I don't fucking know. I don't think you should get any of that money, man.
Nah, but Blaze, nah, but you got to look at it. Them
Like
people pay
what?
big. Them people pay big taxes. I paid taxes. I paid $30,000 when I was working annually on taxes. I made real good money. It was bullshit money because I had to chase it. It wasn't here in Texas. I would go places and stuff.
Were
And
you 1099 or?
W two,
Uh,
W two, and I I stressed on making that money, but I don't stress no more. It's people talk about, oh, I make six digits. I did it already. It sucked. It sucked. You pay more into taxes than what you bring actually home almost. It's
Right,
like a two-third, one-third, basically.
right.
Um
I
the them
worked for a
people
company that gave me 1 hour overtime that put me in the next tax bracket. I was taking
yeah,
home
and
less
that's
fucking money
yes,
with that
yes,
one
yes,
hour than I
yes.
would have taken home without that 1 hour.
Yeah.
And the
So
dude was doing it on purpose just to fuck me over.
yeah, yep. And it's called the tax bracket. You hit it. And Blaze, you were all over it. That's all I got, man.
Oh, okay, we're bitching about that taxes and all that, but that goes back to what I was bitching about last week, though. How about we change the policies? Because look at what Social Security, they keep talking about Social Security is going to die if we don't do something. Well, how come you can't raise the limit? Because right now, the limit for Social Security tax is $147,000. You make anything over that, you're still only getting taxed at $147,000. Let's say 150K. So the guy making 2 million is only getting taxed the same as the guy from 150K. We
Yeah,
keep bitching about higher earnings and taxes, but they paid their fair share. So, and hey, let's raise that cap. That's how you solve it. We got to fund ourselves. But when you sell it to me, sell it under that concept that if I don't do this, it's going to go away and you're going to have nothing. So you should let me raise this so we have something for you for later. This is how we fund it. I mean,
Yeah,
come
but
on, you
at the
got to
same
do that.
time, they're hiring that friggin' thing where you can't even get it until friggin',
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
65 now.
Exactly. Exactly. They're going to
Like,
tax you more.
life's gone up.
Yes.
I know people that are still dying at the age of 40. I'm scared shitless to go get
Right.
surgery on my back because Scott Hall, the wrestler, Razor Ramon,
Yes.
just passed away. It was as simple as going into surgery and coming out and him having 3 strokes because of the anesthesia. How much money did he put in with a 1099 being an independent contractor that he was supposed
Right.
to get back when he hit a certain age and
Yeah.
stuff?
Who knows?
He ain't getting that back. So many people aren't getting this money back that they're putting
Right.
in. And not for nothing, it's legit what I just said. People putting the money in. So why is our government saying that we don't have the money when they put more money? What is happening to that money? Because it ain't going back to people. Like I said, in New York, if you have all this, if you die without your uh, will signed, you're gonna sit there. The government's coming in; they're taking everything. So all
Oh,
that money that
absolutely.
you were supposed to get back at 65, that's going right back into the government's hand.
Hey, Chris,
Right.
just to add on that last will and testament, are you 100% correct? And Texas is like that as well. And I'm pretty
Right.
sure other states are like that as well.
Yeah,
I don't
Right.
want you to feel like you're alone up there in New York, man.
I
No,
just
but
think it's corruption at the highest because not for nothing. If I die tomorrow, my kids should be able to get my television. My kids should be able to get my Xbox. My kids should be able to get
After
the
after
W2 that I put into growing
after
up.
they pay their inherent taxes. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah,
right. Right. You
but
got to
even
stay
still,
inherit
like
that.
my kids should just be able to come into my house and go into my bank account and be like, "Hey, Dad's dead. I'm going to take this. We need the money." There's people that can't even give their families All right, true story. Last year, my wife's grandfather died. World War II vet. He was honored, everything in the yearly ceremony. He met JFK twice. Once was his hitchhiking. JFK actually picked him up. But when he passed away, they wrote the check for my daughter for her birthday gift, which they always sent all my kids $50 every year. They wrote the check. He died that week. My wife cashed that check for my daughter for her birthday gift, not realizing that she wasn't supposed to. She cashed it. The government went after my wife for going and take that $50 out. That was all right because it was dated for the birthday. It was dated
Right.
prior to the birthday, but it was after the grandfather was reported dead.
Right. But
The bank account closed.
They
the bank
didn't
account.
even want her taking out the birthday money that was already sent because they were in the process of trying to get that money for themselves.
And this is where I would say, how about you look at all the people that want the government more in control? You want government healthcare, you want government this, government that. All these little things we're talking about, that's how they're slowly creeping in, and it slowly becomes the government takes over. So all those people that they're clamoring about government control, this kind of stuff we talked about tonight, that's what you're going to get. Like me, for the health insurance. I went to go get some injections in my knees this past week. I got to there, TRICARE. This is how TRICARE works. It's government healthcare, right? TRICARE says, "Hey, provider, you bill us. We'll send you the check." Veteran pays nothing in store, no copay, no nothing, right? Veteran goes on. No, not for the injections that they already paid for one round of them. I was going back for my next round, right? Part of my treatment. Oh no, the company that I get them from, they said, no, you got to pay the $700 up front because we're going to go ahead and give you this reimbursement voucher and you send that into your insurance. So that's a preview to me of government insurance right there. When the government is so difficult to deal with that you can't get paid, now they're going to put the onus on you to deal with the insurance.
Donnie, make your comment that you made with me on the phone the other day about anybody who wants to go on government health care. You were going to make an announcement.
Oh, yeah, that's the announcement. That's what you're looking at right there. You're going to deal with the insurance. The burden's on you. That's how bad our government system is at some point. Local businesses that have contracts with them, they don't even want to do business with them anymore. So they're like, no, it's too hard to get paid. Like you said you would. I have a contract here that says you'll pay me like this. They don't even abide by that. They're cutting that
out. It's crazy.
And a lot of things are negotiable because it's negotiable up to $300 they could have got for the office visit. $300 just for the office visit.
Well, with that being said, I had a great time. I'd like to thank everybody who tuned in to view the Rabbit Hole tonight. Of course, you can catch us pre-recorded. And also, you can go and check out Flacco's World. Chris, if you want to, let some of our listeners know what's going on with Flacco's World real quick, go right ahead, pal.
Pretty much just come over, part of the Level Up program. We take requests on games to play as long as my kids aren't in the room or in at school. I don't care what game. I just got done playing Dante's Inferno, and damn did that game have some titties. But with that being said, it's just everybody's welcome. You got something political you want to talk about, I don't shy away from shit. I'll give my opinion. The only thing that we don't appreciate around that end is like stupid ass fucking racist comments and shit. Like we just boot everybody for that shit. But I don't know. It was a pleasure being on the Rabbit Hole with D Meister, Donnie, and the Blaze Man. A great show, always a great listen.
We appreciate it, brother. We appreciate it. We thank you for coming on tonight and hosting the show. And maybe down the road, if you're not super busy again with Flacco's World, then maybe we'll have you on again. So stick around and we'll get back to, we'll talk after the show. So stay right there, brother. Always a pleasure, man. Always. So, my boys, D, statement for the night, please.
You kicked Chris off already, huh? Want to thank Chris, Donnie, Blaze, Nito. Apologize. I'm not feeling too good. I got to share this quick story, man, and I just want to share it to you and Donnie, the viewers. I got into a little incident today with a black El Paso PD officer. I was going through his crash site. He got out of his car. He started yelling at me. I started yelling at him. It got real ugly, and it didn't need to. The wife was there telling me to calm down, and I'm like, fuck. So I got away. My fucking heart was just pounding all fucking day. So I went to the police station. I requested to talk to the police officer, and everything's good. I apologized. He apologized. He was glad that I called, and I just didn't want to leave that officer with that mentality that this citizen is a fucking asshole and why should I protect him and all that. Even though he was a brother, I felt like he was my brother, and I felt we did wrong, and it was a good call. It was a good call on my behalf. That was all I got to say.
Yeah, it was, D. Yeah, it was, brother.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. Conscious gone now. No conscience.
Yeah. No, and I told the desk sergeant, I says, thank you. My conscience is clear now.
Right.
What a
Touche,
beautiful
brother.
baby.
Right? Look at the baby. Look at the
Cripper.
baby.
Baby
Look at the
Cripper. Baby Cripper. It's cute. Donnie, your world, bro.
Oh, hey, no, just Chris, appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, Blaze, Demus, yeah, everybody listening, viewing, watching, however you're doing it, man. Just keep doing your thing. Appreciate you coming. And I just like how we could take what happened in the 1600s and see how it's still here today. And that's crazy to me. And maybe, like I say, think positive, do positive, man. Maybe it'll make some kind of difference. We'll make a change. See y'all next week.
You got it, brother. You got it, brother.
Chris,
So,
Chris, I thank you for your appearance when you were gone. I want you to know that. Later, bro.
All right, man. All right, Chris, we'll talk to you in a bit. So with that being said, guys, I'll get back to you in a bit. I got to just shoot a little spew out here, and then we're going to be off air. I'll get to you guys after the show. Thanks again, brothers. I will see you in a few minutes. Come on, baby. See, like my boy D got to stay on. My buddy Donnie. There he is. Anyways. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning into the Rabbit Hole. We have a premiere show coming tomorrow night that I'm super excited about, and it's going to be all about NASCAR. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. That's the name of the show, FFN Radio Network, the Side Draft Radio Show with host Justin. And he is going to do a bang up job, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you that. This kid, I'm not into NASCAR, to be honest with you, but I got to tell you, you know what I mean? I'm not going to miss this show. You know what I mean? I talked to Justin a little bit. He was a co-host on Good Times with Jerry, and they did a mock-up with some drivers from Seacock, and the kid, he knew his stuff. So tomorrow night is going to be the FFN Radio Network premiere of The Side Draft, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to check it out tomorrow on FFN Radio Network, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, 7 to 8 p.m. Justin, best of luck, buddy. I know you're going to do a great job, man. And that's what I got to say there. And I bring my boys back in. And that's the deal. So excited for that show tomorrow, fellas. I got to tell you that. Excited for that. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Have a good night to you too, Mr. Faco. Get my shit together here, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. I'm usually money here. But again, ladies and gentlemen, good night, man.
Yeah, come on and let the good time rolls